Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Show. Today, we have a very special guest, a director who was nominated for Best Director in a Feature Film at the 2024 International Christian Film Festival for directing unDEFILED. unDEFILED was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Cinematography, Best Musical Score, and Most Inspirational. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, please welcome to the show director, Matt McCauley. What's up, Matt? How are you?
Great. Thank you, Maurice, for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Man, it's great having you on the show, man. I tell you, hello, Gene Selig-Winger. Good to see Gene. Saw Gene at the International Christian Film Festival. And Kurt Hoffman. What's up, Kurt? Thank you so much. Matt, I really appreciate you being on the show. We were talking about some of the wins that you guys one of your guys received at the International Christian Film Festival in Orlando, held last week. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I want to talk about your film. Your film centers around a very serious issue in America. A lot of people don't really want to talk about it. You and I discussed it before we came on live that a lot of people just don't want to acknowledge the fact that it's a problem. It's called pornography. It's an issue that is just as prevalent, even in the church, and you address it head on in your film. Tell us about unDEFILED, Matt.
Yeah, well, unDEFILED is, I think just kind of in general, unDEFILED is about a guy who almost any guy in this country, in the United States, would probably relate to on some level.
Yeah.
And I think there's pieces of Mitch, who's the main character. I think there's pieces of Mitch that everybody relates to. In fact, a lot of Mitch I relate to, and Mitch has all kinds of issues. He may not have your specific issue or mine, but they're similar. And so I think a lot of guys relate to him. But he's struggling to kind of find himself, he has no idea what his identity is. He has a troubled past, and he kind of gets a wake-up call and decides something needs to be done. And in real vague terms, that's kind of what the story is about.
So Stephanie Peterson, an actress, says, is so glad we're discussing this. And she's in the film. She plays the wife of the main character, who does a fabulous job. I want to talk about Stephanie a little bit later. I remember seeing her in episode 2 of Vindication, which is actually one of my favorite episodes, by the way. I love that episode. But Stephanie, thanks for chiming in. You did a great job in the film. I want to talk about the lead actor in the film, Bradford Haynes, who's actually a former baseball player in real life in the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, and he plays Mitch Jennings. Tell us a little bit about the actor Bradford Haynes. He did a great job.
Yeah, well, Bradford and I have been friends for a very long time, back to a short film we did long ago. But he's an amazing guy. He's just this good, big-hearted guy, and for him to get into this character, was pretty crazy. I mean, he himself in real life is a family guy with 2 young girls, a good dad, loves Jesus, with his whole heart, and so this was amazing for him to go to this level, and I'm really proud of him.
Let me tell you something. He was fabulous. I had never seen Bradford prior to this film, but he was so steady, and even tempered in his approach to the role. I mean, I love how he envisioned playing the role of a guy that was really caught up as a result of some things that had happened, from childhood. And there's some things that I want to talk about a little bit later on about that. But you're watching the Maurice Brown Show on Facebook Live and also on bogradio.fm, listening on bogradio.fm. Gene Selig-Winger, the cast of unDEFILED, was amazing, Gene. Everybody's great. You had Michael Patterson. Of course, Stephanie Peterson was there. And Stelio Savante.
Yeah.
He was terrific as the baseball manager. Sharon Lanier was in that film. She did a great job. Also a good friend of mine. That was just a great fit. And Bradford, yes, Stephanie. Bradford was absolutely amazing. I thought he was absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
Now tell us about, Matt, how you as a filmmaker, and I'm assuming you did this film along with your brothers, Daniel McCauley, and I forget the other McCauley.
It's actually my father and my son. So
okay, your father. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daniel is my dad, and David is my son, who actually is a composer and composed all the music as well. So,
yes.
In the film, there's about a half a second of an umpire. That's actually my dad. He jumped in
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Cool. So my question would be, and you can speak for your dad and your son in this question, but as a filmmaker, I mean, tell us how you guys hope to aid men to conquer pornography addiction through not only the film, but also an 8-part video series, Living Undefiled.
Correct. Yeah, because it really, it's all about living undefiled, not just watching a movie. And so that was our intent from the beginning, Maurice, was, that's what we do. We love making movies, as you well know. Making movies is fun. It's hard, but it's a good thing. It's really fun. And so we wanted to take that, but then also make sure that, well, let me back up. As you well know, you've watched it, Undefiled kind of leaves your head spinning. It's a little unsettling at times. And so we wanted to make sure that when you watch that, there's a next step, another place to go, not just, hey, go home, I'm done, that's it. Now what, And so that's where the ministry really comes in. The movie, we kind of look at it as a funnel. The movie is on the top end of a funnel, and all the ministry materials that have been developed along with it are below, so the movie's catching all these people and pushing them down closer and closer to God's truth and light instead of darkness.
And what I love about, and we were also talking about this very fact before we came on. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm running my mouth so much. I want our audience to watch the trailer. Because I'm telling you right now, I highly advise that you see this film out there, folks. You've got to see it. And we'll tell you a little bit later on what platforms that you can actually see the film Undefiled. Here's the trailer. Check it out.
How old are you? Who is this guy? He knows what you saw last night, and he wants you to stay quiet.
They raped me, Mitch. And then they sell it to porn websites.
Same guy that met up with the girl. He's got connections.
Him.
What is it you said you always wanted, huh? One step away from the show. It's a real deal.
Congratulations. I heard on the AAA coaching job. They're lucky to have you.
I need help.
One time something good happens to me, this is how you act.
I'm trying to figure out a way to feed our children.
I'm good at solving all kinds of problems.
Do what you want, Jennings. You take her off the street, another one will be right behind her.
How can I find the girl? Be careful about what decision you make.
You didn't see the way that girl looked at me.
Seriously, old man. You're so full of crap, I can smell it on you, Jennings.
I'm a nobody. And I'm nobody's hero. There are some more important things that I need to focus on. I got you.
I absolutely love that film. I love that film, Matt. We were talking about this very thing before we came on. By the way, Stephanie Peterson says, I love that this film doesn't leave people hanging in their pain. Thankful for pure desire and bolder recovery partnership. No doubt about it. I mean, and that's something that, Christian filmmaking brings, and that's an answer, a resolution. We don't just leave people out there with, not like the film Taking. Well, I'll just kill them all. Okay, now what?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I gotta have it answer. Leanne Johnson's so proud of her film fam. Leanne, also a friend of mine who was in that film. She did a great job. But I just love film for so many reasons. And, you know, we were just talking about the fact that, you know, Christian filmmakers are afraid to tackle hard subject matter, squeamish, hesitant, if you will. And you don't see it often enough. And in this case, you know, you hit it head on. There was some slight pushback in the Christian community for doing this film. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, up front, before we did it, you know, kind of in the development stage, we had people tell us, had a very well-known producer tell me that, you know, oh, you're just going to ruin yourself by doing that. You don't want to do this. You just don't want to do it. You know, I had other people that just said it didn't matter. It wasn't enough of a subject to do.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is what God told us to do, though. I mean, this is where we were led, and so that's where we went.
Well, you went to the right place, and I what I also love about it is, you know, Christian filmmakers need to do more of this. I can use a show as an example, Vindication, which is a crime series, just like Law and Order or Blue Bloods or Homicide or any of the NCISs. But you know, you're approaching it with tact. You know, you don't have to show everything. We get it. We're adults. You don't have to show everything. And that's what Undefiled does. We've got a problem in our society. You're presenting the problem and you're dealing with the story. And there are countless stories like that out there that people need to know about. And then you bring a resolution to the problem. So I love it. The plots are very interesting in this film. Tell us about how they came about through psychologist Dr. Kevin Weisman.
Yeah, Dr. Weisman. He had I had never met the guy before. He lives in my hometown, and a friend of a friend had told him, "Hey, we had just done a short film in 2017, and said, hey, go watch this," because he was kind of looking for a video crew to do some promo work for him. And long story short, he and I sat down and had coffee one day, and first time we'd ever met. And he starts telling me about this issue. 68+% of church-going men have an issue with porn. 50% of pastors, and that's like 2016 data, old data. And
wow,
yeah, it's bad. And I think, you know, I think that's where all my hair went. It fell off at that point. You know, I just was like, whoa, I'd never even thought about this. This isn't something. And so, kind of in the ensuing months after that, it just through prayer, and we have a group that prays through this, and it's like, you know what, this is not the subject we wanted to pick, but it's the subject we're being told to pick, and so we did it, and yeah.
So we're talking about SAG Award nominee Stelio Savante, and also want to mention Stephanie Peterson, who picked up 2 Festival Award nominations for Best Supporting Actress as the wife of Mitch Jennings. Tell us a little bit about Stelio and Stephanie Peterson.
Oh goodness, yeah, both of them are amazing, and I think they both helped make this film what it is. Stelio, just, you know, he's the calm voice of reason in the story. You know,
yes, he is,
and he's kind of, I would say he's the voice of the truth, you know, in Mitch's life, and that's really he did such an amazing job with that, and so steady and so perfect, and then Stephanie, that was a hard role to fill, you know, because I need this wife who really believably you really believe that she's been betrayed, and Stephanie just just nailed that all the way. And I've seen that film billions of times, it seems like. And still, when I watch, there's one of the scenes of hers when she's really, really upset, and because she just has kind of learned what's going on. and I still kind of tear up at that point. And so she's just amazing.
Well, we need to see more of Stephanie because I
Yes.
again remember her in Vindication, and just that little snippet that I had seen her, I knew she had some acting chops, and she showed it in unDEFILED.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
she did an excellent job. And I really gotta give another shout out to Bradford Haynes. I mean, he really carried it very well. He really carried it very well. So those two pairing together, I mean, they were the perfect union. They both did a great job. Thank you. You guys are so kind. And Stephanie gives God all the glory.
Yes.
And a shout out to Journey Church in Joplin, Missouri, for their support of the film.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Great job. Well done.
It's a little known fact. I'm sorry, it's a little known fact that Journey, the church, actually owns Light of Life Films. So it's a church that owns a production company, which is very odd. The church only has 120 people in it, which is also very odd. So all glory to God.
You know, you mentioned a moment ago that Pure Desire Ministries revealed that 68% of church-going men and 50, this is, I think, maybe the most staggering stat of them all to me, and 50% of pastors use pornography regularly within the secrets of their lives.
Yes.
It's a bigger problem than people realize. Could it be said, Matt, in your opinion, that it starts at early ages like 8, 9, or 10, which was actually alluded to in the film?
Right. That's what all the data says, Maurice. The data, and I'm not just talking. I think that's a big thing to understand. Is yes, this is a Christian film, but the data, the hard data on these topics, is from non-Christian sources as well. I mean, it's just data, and it says yes, starting at a very young age. And I'm not sure exactly what it's gone down and down. So like the youngest age of exposure now is way younger than you would expect. But the survey you're referring to is actually a Barna survey.
Okay. And I think, because in the film, the dad was trying to intimate to the son, in order to be a man, you should be, watching these dirty magazines and what have you. And that's where it began for the character Bradford Haynes portrayed in Mitch Jennings. That's where it began, and it carried on into his adult life. And quite frankly and honestly, it's a bigger problem today because of social media and technology. Because a kid now 5, 6 years old, 4, can get on YouTube and get hooked on pornography.
Yeah, the problem's in the pocket now, as opposed to like a long time ago. I had to go to a store, I had to get a magazine, that sort of thing. Whereas now, it's in everybody's pocket.
Yes, it's so readily available, and so you just look at that and you just go, man, I'm just glad that, again, I gotta give you a ton of thanks as a Christian director for tackling this subject matter. It needs to be done. More like this needs to be done in Christian filmmaking, because there's so many people out there struggling with all kinds of things. And if anyone should be addressing these tough subjects, Christians should be. Okay? So God bless you for doing this, Matt. unDEFILED, ladies and gentlemen, picked up a Best Picture win at the SoCal Film Awards, 15 Festival Award nominations at Red Letter Awards, and the International Christian Film Festival Award selection later in 2024. Tell us how our audience, Matt, can see unDEFILED.
Yeah, it's readily available on streaming. Amazon Prime. You can rent it on Amazon Prime. Watch it for free on Tubi, Apple TV if you're there, Fubo, Hoopla. I think I've covered them all. Yeah.
Well, I listen. You got to see. You can watch it on Tubi, and Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Fubo, I guess, as well. But it's a great film. I highly recommend. And this is a film, in my opinion, and it is for mature audiences. But you took a hard subject matter, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, Matt. You took and I'm very proud of you as a fellow Christian for taking on such a hard subject matter, but yet presenting it still in a very tactful manner.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
I mean, that was our goal. Yeah, that was our goal. I appreciate it.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I find it hard to fathom how a fellow Christian filmmaker could have any kind of an issue with it. And I think the first issue is you didn't see the film. You just heard about it. You didn't see it. So you just made a knee-jerk reaction without giving the man a fair chance. And I think that's what everyone needs to do. Watch the film and then judge it later. And then after you do that, you can thank me later. Anyway, I'm just kidding, Matt. Stephanie says churches can use this film to start conversations about recovery. 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. We actually have some curriculum that goes along those lines. We have a one-day conference that uses the film as a background. Dr. Wisman teaches classes in that. It all kind of stems from the film and just draws and builds on that. Like Stephanie said, starting the conversation, because that's the hard part. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Yes. Well, nobody wants to talk about it. They're squeamish and they're afraid to talk about it. And one of the biggest reasons we have issues with sin in the church is because people want to pretend that everything's okay, and it's not okay. And that's why these issues end up going off the rail. Let me ask you this, or bring this up. I'd love to hear your comment to it. But the film focuses on sex trafficking victims as well. We talk about pornography being an issue. Sex trafficking is involved. It's another problem in America. And that's brought out in film. You kind of fold the two ideas together. They actually, unfortunately, go hand in hand. There is a statement made in the film that says, you did this to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great statement. That was an amazing statement, because the fact that men are addicted to pornography, they're actually contributing to the sex trafficking issue, and the indulgence of it. And there's an estimated global profit of $150 billion through sex trafficking. Kaylin Elizabeth Wood plays the sex trafficked victim in Undefiled. She did a great job. What was it like working with Kaylin?
She came to me. She wrote me an email out of the blue when we were casting, and basically said, look, I've had a real life event that goes along with this, and that caught my attention. I went and looked at her reel, her acting reel, and I thought, oh, wow, okay, yeah, I've got to talk to her. Amazing actress, but on the set, playing some of those really difficult scenes, our consultant, Dr. Wisman, was there, and she would, we would say cut, and then everybody be quiet, and she was tearing up, and she would go talk to him for a while, because they were that rough. She wanted to do it. That was therapy for her.
Yes, let me tell you something. She did a very good job, and a tough role to carry out. And I just give her a lot of credit for doing that. She did a wonderful job. God bless her for doing something that's going to get the attention of people that are struggling. She did a great job, and I want to give her a shout out. And I also want to give a shout out to my good friend Jen Gottson of SDI Entertainment for making this show happen today. Mm-hmm. And before we get out of here, Matt, tell our fans or our audience out there how they can follow the McCauleys on social media or by website.
Light of Life Films is the production company, and lightoflifefilms.com you can go to. That's a great way to do it. undefiledmovie.com or our Facebook/undefiledmovie. We're active on all those places, so we'd love to have you follow.
Well, amen. I love it. Once again, folks, Matt McCauley, director of Undefiled. I highly advise you watch this great film. Once again, a shout out to Bradford Haynes for his job as the lead actor in this film, and also Michael Patterson, who won an award, by the way, at the International Christian Film Festival for Best Supporting Actor. Did a great job. And then Stephanie Peterson had 2 nominations for Best Supporting Actress. Just a phenomenal job done by all 3. Gene Selick Winger says, it's always a pleasure to work with Matt and Light of Light Films.
Yes, thank you, Gene.
And Stephanie, well-deserved. Michael J. Yeah, Michael and I, as I was telling you, we were talking the day of the award ceremony, and it was interesting. I said, Mike, you're about to break out, dude. I mean, Michael is in everything. Every time I look up, Michael is in something, and it's substantive. And there he goes walking off with the Best Supporting Actor. Michael J. Patterson is a name to watch. He's coming. He's coming.
Yeah, Michael, amazing guy. I sat right by him at the awards, and my heart just exploded when they called his name, because I just absolutely love him as a man, as a Christian man. He's just so true to what he believes, but at the same time, phenomenal actor, and he just deserved that. So.
Authentic, genuine guy. He's as good as it gets, and as far as being just a genuine man, a genuine friend, loves the Lord genuinely, good guy, and he deserves all the good that's coming to him, because I can see it happening for Mike. It's his hard work is paying off, and I love it. Well, Matt, I want to thank you once again for being on the show, and once again want to give a thanks to Jen Gotson. Jen Gotson and I and Michael Patterson were in Love Different together in 2016. So both of those guys are good buddies of mine. So I want to thank Jen of SDI Entertainment for making this show happen. Matt, I want to thank you for being on the show and hanging out with us. I think we've got one more. Gene Selick says, "Go, Mike." No doubt. Hey, and I echo that sentiment. Go, Mike Patterson.
Yes.
Once again, Matt, thanks for being on the show. God bless you, brother, and may the peace of Christ be with you and your family. God bless you.
You too. Thank you much, Maurice. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Amen.